I don't know about you, but I think that you wouldn't want to fail, not have a good GPA, or really just succeed academically while in college. So let's get into today's Spelman Survival Guide. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm currently on one of my friend's balconies recording outside because we needed another serious conversation about Spelman, my Spelman series. If you guys are new here, my name is Gabrielle Kasai. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are doing all things Spelman College. This is my self-titled Spelman Survival Guide. Today, we have another topic. Of course, I wrote down some things for me to make sure that y'all know. And today is going to be all about academic survival. Get your pen, get your paper, and get ready to take some notes because you are going to be not only an amazing student, but you're going to have the best GPA leaving out of your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, whatever the case may be, and really make sure that you have the most optimized GPA to accomplish whatever you desire, not only at college, but also post-grad. So let's get into today's video. Okay, y'all, honestly, I'm in Atlanta. I didn't realize how hot it is, so let me get into today's video. First, let's talk about how to use office hours. Everyone kind of talks about office hours differently. Everyone uses it differently. I think every teacher uses it differently. To give you a baseline, most teachers are going to say like Tuesday to 3 to this time. Monday to Friday, 2 to 3. Monday to Thursday, 2 to this. Monday and Wednesday, this time to this time. Y'all get the point. With that, some people are gonna have walk-in office hours where you just go to the office, you just go sit in their office, you listen to what they have to say, and some people are going to have by appointment only, which means you have to schedule a Zoom call or something with them. Either of those methods really work, and honestly it just depends on the kind of person you are. If I know I have a test going up, I'm going to schedule an appointment for office hours, or I'm going to make sure I do the walk-in to not only get to know what's on the test, because a lot of times when you're going through things that you learn in the chapter, you can ask a professor, especially for me in econ when it's like something math related or like macro or micro. I'll be like, okay, I know we went over this, like, do you think this is going to be on the test? Will these type of questions be on there? And they're more prone to answer y'all then, because they're not going to say it in front of the whole class. They want you to succeed, and that's why you go to office hours. You build those connections and relationships. If you take anything away, the whole point of office hours is to build a relationship with your professors so they'll be willing to help you, and to learn more, brush up on the things that you're learning or don't really know, or really just find clarity in for your assignments. So for me, I will go talk about problems, go do practice problems, just sit in their office and build and connect with them. When I tell y'all, I literally had a professor this semester. I was in Barcelona. I am emailing her. Grades go in like the next day or 2 days later. Hey, I have a 89 point da-da-da-da. I just want to ask if it can be bumped up to a 92. I provide her with the reasons. I provide her with this. I really tried hard in your class this year. And guess what? I got my grade bumped up. And that was because I took time to build with her as a professor. I got to know her personally. And I also asked for her help and her guidance during office hours. This is, all of college is about relationship building. All of your professors have worked in the field or are specials in the field that they're either teaching you or that you want to go into post-grad. If you are in the economics department, your teachers are business people. They've done this, they've done all these things post-grad. They have the knowledge, the acumen, and if anything, they have a network that you can get directly tapped into if you talk to them enough. So make sure that you're building and fostering that connection. Don't be one of those people who just are being lackadaisical in their thinking with it and not being resourceful. Next up, Club Woody. Club Woody is called Club Woody for a reason. If you plan to go in there to truly study, to truly do your work, to truly do those things, you need to make sure you book a room, you schedule a room, and it's a room with people who are actually going to study, not people who are going to sit and talk to and yap. Me and my friends used to go to Club Woody in the middle of the day, say we're going to get our work done. We didn't. We saw people, we socialized, we talked to people. Guys try and come at you, girls try and talk to guys, people are on dates. It's just a whole bunch of rah-rah. If anything, go to the third floor, go to the back side where it's just the bookshelves, and go on a quiet day, or schedule yourself a room, especially when it's final season. Schedule a room, y'all, and have a plan. Use AUC shuttle or some other resource to get to and from the library, because that's also very important. Next up, your GPA. There's a big difference between a 3.9 and a 3.5. There's a big difference between a 3.5 and a 3.2. And that is not only targeted for joining clubs or organizations. That's not only targeted for internships, that's also for graduating with honors. So let's get into this. Every school is different. For Spelman, a 3.8 and above is summa cum laude. A 3.8 to like a 3.79 to a 3. I think, is Magna, and a 3.5 to a 3.3 might be cum. Correct me if I'm wrong on the Spelman website, but that is honors. You have the ability and you qualify for honors the fall semester of your senior year. So whatever your GPA is then, that is what will be measured, not your end of spring semester GPA. People get that incorrect sometimes and they be wondering why they didn't graduate with honors, and that is why. Spelman also has like different law fraternities, societies like Alpha Lambda Delta and things like that that are also honors programs. I don't really know the ins and outs of all of those, but there's also departmental honors that you can graduate with. There's a lot of like access points for you to graduate or end with honors. So make sure you stay in touch with your GPA, and that starts your freshman year. You need to keep your GPA as high as humanly possible. I ended freshman year with a 3.82 because one of my teachers gave me a B and it was undeserving and I didn't dispute it. Now let me teach you about the next thing, grade disputing. You can ask for an incomplete or you can dispute a grade if you feel like the professor didn't grade you enough, like something like that is qualifying your work. You need to go to the head of the department, you need to have spoken with the professor, and then you'll go to the dean, and they can possibly change your grade. You also can take an incomplete and retake part of the class or retake some coursework in order to get like a higher grade as well. So make sure that you are just really maximizing your options, but also be real with yourself. If you know you don't deserve that grade in that class, you know you didn't do the work and put in the hours and do the time, don't ask for it. In my case, I did all those things and above, and he was just feeling people for fun. So I should have done that. It's not to say that all your professors won't be good and be challenging, but also helpful. Some you're gonna get that are just like not the best professors. And with that, you just need to understand that, learn how to work with them for the time being, and have a backup plan. Next, the difference between a 3.5 and a 3.8. I know for me in finance, sorry guys, there's some cars going by. For me in finance, it's really important to keep a high GPA because I've been applying to internships and full-time jobs, and some of them have on there, do not apply if you have under a 3.8. I just want to be very transparent about sometimes like your network, your internships matter just as much as your degree, but if you can't even get the internship, there's no point. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about internships, class, clubs, and burnout in that order. Class, you need to go to class. You don't need to skip class just because you're tired. You don't need to be late to class. You don't need to show up. Especially if you're living on campus, go to class. There is truly no reason that you should be missing class as a freshman. You have so much more opportunities, experiences, things to happen to you, whether that's living off campus, whether that's joining a sorority. But that's actually not an excuse to miss class. Whether anything is happening in your life, a death, a loss, something crazy, is a chance and your opportunity to miss class. Not because you want to sleep in and feel like it, not because you want to go to hump, not because you want to go to market, none of those things. Like, go to class, handle your business, and then focus on the things afterwards. We just talked about the GPA. Go to class. Next, clubs. You should, in my opinion, apply to 3 clubs. It should be passion, service, employment. And those 3 in that order, you need something that's going to help you when you're talking about your job, that you can put on your resume, that you can tell companies like, I'm in this club, I'm in this leadership role, this is what I do with this, I connect X to Z, X to Y, this to this, this to this, and that is how I grow. You need a thing that's your passion, so you have fun in it, you can do this, you can do that, you can explore. And you need something of service, something where you're giving back to your community, giving back to people you love, giving back. It's important to give back, and I think at Spelman we talk about giving back. So we literally service all mankind, but in every aspect of life, whether you want to go to a school, go to HBCU, join a sorority, not join a sorority, join a fraternity, whatever you want to do, you should always be serving and giving back to your community that poured into you for you to get here. I want to talk about internships, and I guess all the cars want to drive by right now, so I'm going to talk a little louder and then I'll go back to my normal tone. You need to have an internship every summer. I really don't care what anyone says, but for the success path that I know everyone on this channel wants, and also that we're just really cultivating the energy here, you should desire to have an internship, paid or unpaid, every year. I think an unpaid internship freshman year is perfectly okay. Like, get a job on the side, you need the experience, you need it on your resume. Sophomore year, you should be aiming for a paid internship. Junior year, you should be aiming for a paid internship that has a return offer, or you need to be studying for whatever postgraduate school that you're going to get into, and making sure that your priority is when the fall semester comes, you are applying to those roles for your senior year, and you are going to be at a school post-grad. All those things are very important, and you need to tap into your network, to the school, to Handshake, and to LinkedIn for your internships, because there are many out there, but sometimes it takes a little bit of networking, a little bit of working around, a little bit of patience, persistence, and prayer to get there. Lastly, burnout. All those things I said take time, take energy, take effort. You are going to have burnout in college. It is just the reality. You need to have a good self-care routine. You need to be able to set boundaries with other people, like, hey, I'm not going out tonight because I need to just sit with myself. And you need to really strategize in what will be the best way for you to maximize your time in certain areas, and what times do you need rest, because you want to avoid burnout so you can continue being a successful college student. Next, guys, minors, major changes, and adding classes. This is a really relevant topic, and I'm really glad that we're talking about this, because I just posted a TikTok on this, and it's actually currently going like a little viral almost. So make sure you also check out my TikTok. To get into this, first and foremost, you come into school as a major or undecided. It is okay to come in undecided and figure it out. It's okay to have a major and change it. Make sure you understand if you're getting a bachelor's of arts or a bachelor's of science. Make sure you understand the difference. A lot of times science comes with more math and science classes. A lot of times arts comes with more like objective classes, and how does this relate to X, Y, and Z. Understand the differences. Understand the class you're going to take. Understand the course load. Understand the course work. All those things are very important. Then, if you feel like your major isn't giving you enough core credits, enough core information, enough core anything to go along with what you want to do post-grad, get a minor. Or some people just get a minor to know what you're interested in. I want to be very clear. Your minor does not go on your diploma. So whether you just take the classes or whether you get a minor, it makes no difference for some people. Other people, of course, will put it on their degree, or they'll talk about it, and that's what the difference it'll make for them. Make sure you're very clear in understanding the differences. Also, for my Spelman babies, if you're coming in, and honestly, not even for your Spelman baby, just if you're a Spelmanite, you can take classes at Morehouse and Clark. Make sure you use those resources, because they have classes that we don't offer, and don't do yourself a disservice because you don't want to walk across the street to take a class. We're coming on the final things for you to be an academic weapon this semester. Next, 200 versus 400 level courses. There is a course sequence in college. So like 200 levels are normally entry level courses. 400 are like 400 credit hour courses. So normally they translate into 4 credit hours, but sometimes they can still be 4 credit hours in 200 level. So basically, the higher number you go, the more challenging, the more hard, the more like seminar, senior, like kind of classes and things is that you're gonna take. So just be aware of not only the professor, but the course level, because I know for me, I took a 400 level course in sophomore year, and like I was driven and motivated at that point, but it was a lot more challenging, and it was my first experience like that because I didn't have some of the other classes that would prepare me in my curriculum yet. Next, study tips. This is actually the most important for everyone watching. Please find your study method, and I want to be very clear. Your study method for math is going to be different, or may be different for your study method in English. Your study method for Spanish may be different for your study method in entrepreneurship. Understand what you need to do to be successful in each class. Ask the professor sometimes, what have you seen work for students? Figure out your own study ways. It might be studying in the library, it might be studying by yourself. It might be working together with this person, it might be avoiding this person at all costs. Figure those things out, and once you figure it out, it'll be a lot easier for you to just navigate your experience in the academic field. You don't ever want to be going to a class, fail a test, fail another test, fail another test. That's not how it should go. It should be like, I learned from this mistake. I learned from how I studied on this quiz. I know I shouldn't do that next time. I'm going to go to office hours. I'm going to speak with this. I'm going to study with my classmates. I'm going to do all of these things, and that will help me achieve my goal. I don't know why I hear the fire alarm going off. Anyways, I think that I made a lot of videos on study tips. We can go through highlighting, we can go through memorization, we can go through Quizlet, I've had a previous partnership with Check, they were very helpful. We can talk about ChatGPT. I used Chat to make practice tests this year in economics after giving it presentations. Like, please utilize your resources to the greatest extent possible. I personally am an iPad girl. I write all my notes on my iPad. I do all my studying on my iPad and my laptop, and occasionally a flashcard. I still go back to flashcards, especially for math, when I need to remember things. That's just what works for me. Versus English, I kind of just read over the study guide, talk through it a little, and I'm ready to go. Understand the differences in your life of what works well, what doesn't, and let me know down below if you guys want a whole video on study tips, because I'm happy to do one. Okay guys, that entire video should have prepared you to be an academic weapon, especially if you were a first year or a sophomore looking to revamp and prepare for your HBCU experience. I didn't really talk about what it means to be an academic weapon or how I felt academically as Spelman in this video, and I realized that may be what you guys are looking for. So let's jump into a few things of how I feel about how I've been academically at Spelman. I know earlier in this video I mentioned the one professor that was really like just triggering to me, and I feel like at every HBCU, what you come to realize is that like your HBCU is still HBCU at the end of the day. Like, no matter the ranking, no matter how good it is, there are always going to be a few bad apples, a few bad things that go wrong, and that is the same thing at every school. So don't default your HBCU just because of some things. I've had amazing professors who got me scholarships, had meetings with potential jobs, and all these other things that have been amazing. Then I've also had professors who have truly challenged me. I've been placed in the most rigorous classrooms, but I've also learned how to use my resources, how to use Check to study, how to use Chat to study, how to use this source to understand this, how to find sources, how to write an academic paper in economics. All these things have been challenging, have been triggering, have been frustrating, have been annoying. Like, the amount of professors that I've complained about to my mom on her phone, the amount of things like that, like, it has really challenged me. But that is okay, because you just learn from your mistakes, and as long as you learn and don't continue allowing the same thing to happen, you are doing great. And you just need to sit in that and continue to self-improve, continue to self-reflect. And I know for me personally, I had the goal coming in on my Spelman bucket list to graduate at least magna cum laude, and right now I'm on track not only to do that, but to do more than that. And I'm very proud of myself for that. But it also came with a lot of studying. It came with not going out some Thursday nights because I needed to study. It came to not going to every Thursday. It came to going to the library my freshman year. It went into going into study rooms when I lived off campus, so I would have a separate space for my bedroom. It came into having an actual study regimen. I typically do my homework assignments 2 to 3 days earlier before they're due. I always set my homework assignments that are due at least a day or two before in my to-do list, so I make sure nothing is ever late. I've probably had about 5 late assignments in my course of college because I'm over-prepared and I plan properly. So those are just some of the things that work for me, where I have friends, line sisters, just people with Spelman sisters, that's not how it works for them, and they find their own method. So the moral of the story of today's video is find your method to study, be prepared academically to be an academic weapon, know you got this, and ask for help when it's necessary. Do not shy away from asking for help from your professors, from upperclassmen, from people who are taking the class. The only thing that I'm realizing that I forgot to talk about is rate my professor. Always go and rate my professor to figure out how the professor was rated, how they teach, what their teaching style is, decide how you're taking the class. Always go to your upperclassmen friends or people who are in your major, ask them how the teacher was, ask them how they graded, ask them if they ended with an A, ask them some of the core things you need to know. And just understand that it's always okay to drop a class or to switch a professor in the time that they allot for you at the beginning of the semester. They do that on purpose. They do that and allow you to read the syllabus of the class beforehand, so you know if this is something you want to align yourself with. I always try and find free textbooks and free books for those classes. If you can, the only classes that you probably will have to pay for the textbook is English if it's an actual book that someone doesn't have for you to borrow, math because you have to do it with the online source, and your language. Other than that, try and find the free book. Don't spend your money, spend your time, spend your effort on things that you can find other resources for. And if you guys take nothing from this channel, I hope that it is that. Those are just some things that I realized rapid firely that I forgot. But that is the end and the wrap up of my academic achievement, academic success, Spelman survival guide. I think I might need a part 2, so let me know down below some topics that I missed and what I need to hit on. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I hope these tips were helpful, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next one. Bye.